So you may be unknowingly feeding your pelvic floor problems every day, and certain habits and movement patterns make the dysfunction much harder to overcome. The habits and behaviors that I'm referring to are things like sitting behind your computer for extended lengths of time, or using sitting standing desk but standing up too long. It's things like working out, and this is kind of interesting because you got to understand you're still having a sedentary lifestyle if you're sitting, let's say 7-8 hours a day, and then you go work out. That's still sedentary lifestyle damage to your body. So when that's the case and you go work out, then this is a body that has endured a specific position for an extended length of time. It's exhausted from that, and now you go work out. You may work out first thing in the morning, which I do recommend, by the way, but that's still, those dysfunctional patterns of movement still are existing. Another thing that does happen and we disregard are behaviors like funky stuff, the things that we do without realizing. For example, masturbation. No one talks about it, but it does make a difference because certain positions are worse than others. And then there are certain things that naturally happen during the process that are being dampened by specific posture. I'm not a sex therapist. I don't wish to get any comments about this, like don't be funny, but this does make a difference. Another thing that happens a lot that you're not realizing is contributing is the way you breathe. A lot of times people hold their breaths, or they just suck their tummy in, or they're chest breathers. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I strongly recommend you do, because had you done it, you'd already known what I was going to say about breathing. Biological breathing is what we want to do. Biological breathing is a term I created because I've seen people doing belly breathing, diaphragmatic breathing, 360 breathing, and all of them are being done wrong. Biological breathing is by studying human babies and we see how they breathe. I'm going to make sure we put this video at the end of this, the biological video, right at the end of this video. But breathing is the first step in the right direction. Breathing in, when done biologically, relaxes the muscles inside of your pelvis. And when you breathe out is because these muscles come together and they contract, kind of like a soft hand around a bag of water that you gently press and the water goes up. So when you do breathing correctly, biologically, then you are bringing the benefits of relaxation and contraction of these muscles the way they were intended to be. So common culprit is lack of doing something like that. So the better approach is to start with biological breathing and do exercises called developmental exercises. Again, these are exercises that we see how babies move. They're every stage of movement, building stability is important, and one builds on the previous one. When we look at the whole world, we see all babies on the planet Earth move the same way. So that is the manual of movement. If I have a problem, I should go to the manual and see how does this individual's movement and stability issues relate to or compare to the manual. Most important part is for you to understand what that's like, because you're the holder of the stability and the one that violates the stability. You need to understand what it takes to change the environment that is now working against you. Pelvic floor problems, pelvic floor dysfunction is when the muscles on the inside working with the outside are not working together well. When that happens, you're compromising the stability of the pelvis, you're compromising the connection of the spine to the pelvis, the connection of the lower extremities to the pelvis, and anything that resides within this hole. That can be nerves, arteries, veins, muscles, ligaments, joints, pelvic organs like intestine, bladder, prostate, uterus, ovaries. So all of those areas that I mentioned to you are fair game when you have pelvic floor dysfunction. My channel is all about this. Everything is categorized by the subject matter, and it's so important for you to understand that it's very easy to be distracted working on the wrong thing, and just working on something does not mean you're solving your problem. You've got to understand the why behind your symptoms and chase it until you solve it, and that way you hold the solution and you hold the understanding of what needs to be in place. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, comment, or suggest any videos you may want to see. And until next time, take care.